I think it's really important for people, especially people with the type of personality like you've got, to have that sense of worth or that purpose, right? In order to keep going. It's because you've got a reason, right?
To help others, to give back to others and help others. If I don't help other people, I don't think I'd be. I don't want to know. I fear that if I wasn't out here helping other people and trying to help other people and be focused on that and make that my goal to do for the rest of my life, I don't want to follow my family tradition. There's a reason my grandfather did it. There's a reason my father did it. And I sure as heck don't want to join that trend.
Yeah.
I want to break that little generational cycle there. I don't see it happening with me. I hope not. I pray not. I don't think it'll happen. But before I had a purpose.
Yeah. In your studies with psychology, have you dove into people that commit suicide or people with suicidal ideation and how it comes about and how quickly they actually do make a decision and carry it out? Like, have you looked at that part of the statistics?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Okay.
I mean, the fast forward, there's so much information out there. My mother's one of 17 children. There was 9 girls and 8 boys. All 9 girls had mental illness. All 9 girls had different levels of it. All 9 girls really suffered from it, some worse than others. 2 committed suicide. My mother was one of the worst ones as far as the ones that survived. None of them got away with it, and all 8 boys never showed any signs of it. In the second generation, my generation, it was male-female indiscriminate. It hit across the board randomly. Somewhere between the ages of 18 and 24, it would manifest itself. If it didn't show itself in those years, that meant you got out of the woods and you probably weren't going to suffer from the same mental health issues that the rest of the family did. My mental health issues are not related to that. The third generation, my children, it's not there. But in my generation, we've had more suicides and murder suicides than any family should ever have to deal with. Now, there's a huge population there. When you have 18 original children, my mother's twin died at birth, 17 that lived, that all had children, I mean, I'm 60 years old now, I'm 58. There's a lot of people out there. There's a huge sampling. But we've had way too many suicides and murder suicides and things of that nature. And you dive into the whys and the whos and the hows, and there's so many different things that work. With the military people, 22 vets a day, 22 veterans a day, which actually peaked at 24, dropped back down to the mid-20s, right, mid-20s right now, about 22 again. Still too many if you do the math.
Yeah, I did a calculation on the statistics there.
Way too many.
First, 7,300 average per year, men and women.
Yep.
That's not including the first responders. That's
not just veterans. The thing with first responders is there's nobody out there getting the sampling. The reporting here with veterans, we have the United States of America. We have the Veterans Administration. We have a tracking mechanism for the military nationwide. We don't have a tracking mechanism for the local police department down the street versus the county police department versus the state police department versus the sheriff over here versus this one over there. Nationwide, we have no centralized tracking, so there's no way to know exactly what the number is for law enforcement or fire or EMTs or emergency room staff or pararescue or ski patrol or emergency response teams or everybody that deals with those areas. We don't know those numbers. We do a better job with the veterans. We know it's way too high. With me, when they diagnosed me with severe PTSD, the second thing on that sheet was suicidal tendencies. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? Whoa, I've never thought about suicide. I've never committed suicide. I've never attempted suicide. It's not on my list of things to do. What are you talking about?
You jump out of a plane for fun. You drive your car 200 miles an hour for fun. Did you do
That's
that?
what happened. When I got out of the military, they said the doctors explained it that I no longer cared whether I lived or died. I was living my life as such a person that wasn't trying to stay alive. I was like, well, I wasn't trying to die. I said, I thought I was bored. I thought I was just having some fun. When I took my last brand new vehicle to a telephone pole out here on Highway 9,
Oh,
The
you
state
really were
trooper said
doing
I went.
that.
Oh, I absolutely was doing that. The state trooper said I went through that telephone pole somewhere between 125 and 145. I don't know. I don't remember it exactly. I know when I remember something, I'm looking at my vehicle going, how the heck did I wreck the front end, the back end, the roof, and both sides of my vehicle? That's what I want to know. How did I wreck the whole thing? And I'm sitting at the vehicle, and I'm conscious, and I'm unhurt. And me and Moses, my dog, got out of the vehicle and hauled butt. No, it's a telephone pole. The telephone pole hit the front end, the roof, and the back end.
It flipped up. It
And-
flipped
and-
up and smashed
I
it
hit the
back
telephone
down.
pole in midair. I hit the telephone pole in midair. I was already in the air.
Okay.
Cut the telephone pole in half. That wrecked the front end. The telephone pole hit the roof and hit the tail.
Oh,
And
okay,
on both
gotcha. It
sides.
came down.
And I was in a canal because down here in the south we have canals that are on both sides of the road to keep the water off the road highway. And I was pinging off both sides of the canal. I figured all that out later. At the moment, I had no clue. And that was the last of 8 vehicles I totaled in a 2-year period where I had never wrecked a vehicle before in my life. I never even had a traffic ticket. I went insane. When I say I went insane, I could tell war story after war story of post-military stuff that I was doing, being shot at down here at the Palms.
Yeah.
From pretty close range when I knew the guy was fixing to shoot at me because he came down each level of steps, pointing the gun at me, talking crap to me before he shot at me. And I stood there and let him do it. And when he shot at me, I just kind of paused and looked, and I ran away, talking crap to him about why, 1, he can't shoot, and 2, why don't you put it down and see what kind of a man you are, as I ran away, because there was something wrong with me. That's where they said that I didn't care if I lived or died. I didn't want to die, but I sure as heck was taking extreme risks that normal people don't take, knowing I was taking them, and I was doing them just because I could.
And you don't consider that to be suicidal?
I didn't think it was suicidal. Looking back now, sitting here with you now, I haven't done anything like that in 3 years. I haven't done anything even close, except when I just got run over by a truck. Run over by that truck. Now I can blame myself for that. I can blame myself for it.
Yeah.
He chose to run me over. Yes, he chose to run me over. He could have went anywhere to 360. He chose to come at me. He chose to run me down. But I went there at 11 o'clock at night to that parking lot, to a situation where there was a girl in that vehicle that I knew her lifestyle and what she was likely doing, and I put myself at that position to have that happen. My boundaries aren't where they should be. At 58 years old, I decided at 11 o'clock at night to get dressed and go to a parking lot of a neighborhood Walmart and to rescue this girl from this guy that won't let her out of the vehicle. That there was probably more to that story than met the eye, and there was. I found out later, but at the moment I didn't know, but I kind of knew. And when I flicked my lights and he didn't let her out, and I got out of my vehicle to walk towards him, I knew I was doing something I didn't really need to be doing. I wasn't trying to do anything bad. I was rescuing her, but I was rescuing her from a situation she put herself in. And this lunatic decided to run me over, which resulted in everything that happened. But why did Bruce... What 58-year-old man wakes up at 11 o'clock at night to a phone call from a girl that's in active addiction and sells herself, that calling for help, that just jumps in his vehicle, runs out there to save him, and gets out in his shorts and t-shirt because he's going to go help this person, and gets run over by an F-350 pickup? Somebody that doesn't value life the same as other people. It's not just a hero complex, it's
It's more than that.
Yeah, it's more than that. It's more than that. That's the first time I've done anything in 3 years to put myself in that kind of situation. And it almost killed me.
Yeah.
It almost killed me. But prior to that, I was doing it on the regular. I was doing stuff like that on the regular. So why do people do it? A lot of veterans become numb to death. They've seen so much of it. They've been around so much of it. They've experienced so much of it that they just become numb to it.
It's like you're
firemen,
right?
Firemen. I talk about firemen all the time. Firemen respond daily. Every time that a fireman here at Myrtle Beach goes out on a call, they're either going to an overdose or a severe car accident. There's very few actual fires. Most of the time, it's a severe car accident with mangled bodies and death, or it's an overdose where they're already dead when they got there, or they're dying, or they might die. And that's every single day, multiple times a day. I live near the main fire department. They are going out in that ambulance all darn night long. Just the ambulance. Every time it's just the ambulance, and they're going to a hotel, I know where they're going. They're going to an overdose.
So where you live, the fire and the ambulance are in the same dispatch building, like the vehicles themselves.
Yep. They just built a big brand.
Are all together.
They just built a big brand new, gigantic, beautiful response whatever you want to call it, platform building, where the fire trucks and the ambulances are lined up, and they come shooting out to an intersection that they control lights for, and off they go right down my street to Ocean Boulevard, and they either go left or right to the appropriate hotel to go deal with another overdose. And it's constant. Every so often, it's somebody shot that just.
Yeah, that's where
constant.
I live. They're in two different places, and so our firefighters are often the very first responders to any emergency, because they get every 911 call. Fire, police, ambulance get dispatched. Not always ambulance, but fire, police always get dispatched, and the firefighters are always the first on site. So they see.
On Tuesday nights, I host a Zoom meeting. Tuesday nights, I host a Zoom meeting for first responders and veterans dealing with PTSD, C-PTSD, and substance abuse issues. I have lots of firemen and women. And every single one of them, when I start talking about C-PTSD and introducing them to the symptoms and the causes, their lights go off.
It's like,
oh my God,
ding.
a revelation. And I've invited their spouses to be there, male and female, to be part of it because of how it affects their relationships. And the lights that go off in the relationships, it's really been something to see the response that I've gotten, especially from the firefighters more than anybody, on, oh my God, I'm starting to understand what my problem is now. The statistics that I was able to find show that 7 out of 10 firefighters develop a substance abuse issue before in their careers. 7 out of 10 develop a substance abuse issue in their careers. Usually alcohol. They're abusing alcohol, and somebody's what their definition of abusing alcohol varies from person to person. You know, some people say, well, if I have 6 drinks in a week, that's not heavy drinking. Or another person, or the analyst will say 6 drinks in a week is too many.
That's too much, yeah. If you have to drink every day, that's my husband's opinion. If you have to drink every day, you're an alcoholic.